Hello friends! Welcome back. I'm Em, and this is going to be the start of my Ketchup and Pickles vlog for February. If this is the first time you've ever seen one of these videos, if you've ever seen me, hi, hello, how are you? This is modeled after a elementary school teaching technique where you have your catch-up columns, which is all the things that you have fallen behind on or you need to get done, and then your pickles columns, which is all the fun things that you want to do. And I use it to kind of get my reading life in order as we transition from one month into the next. And even though it is technically still January, it's just named for whatever month the video goes up in, and this is going up in February. Therefore, it's my February Ketchup and Pickles vlog. So let's get into the pickles books, because I actually have catch-up books that I want to read this month, and I'll be very sad if I don't get to them. So for my main pickles book is going to be my reread of A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I am reading this for a book club that I'm in that reads science fiction and fantasy books. I read this 2 years ago, and this is my third time rereading it. And it's grand. I love it so much. It's such a fun world. I love the main character, so it's just been a delight, but I have been doing it so slowly because other things keep taking precedence. So I keep putting it off. I need to knuckle down. I don't think you can see that. I need to knuckle down and just finish the damn book because I'm so close. So this is the primary. I need to finish this. Not have to finish it, but I am still going to be working on it because it's also a book that I have let fall to the wayside because it is a reread, and it is my reread of Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I don't know where the dust jacket is. January and February for me is reread a book from the Locked Tomb series month or season, and this is the one I'm rereading this year. It's my first time rereading it, and I read it along with the Locked Tomb podcast because they have episodes. They break down the books and then have episodes where they deep dive what is happening in specific sections. And so I read those sections and I listen to the podcast and switch back and forth. So it's super slow going. This is not a priority to finish. I am okay if this trickles into February. However, I have not made any forward momentum in about a week, so I would like to at least get halfway before it's officially February. All right, and then my pickles book, which when I finish A Deadly Education, this is the book I'm starting. If you saw my February TBR, then you already got a little sneak peek, but I want to read Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. This is a book that is suddenly everywhere, and I feel like everybody's reading it, and I'm so curious for why all of a sudden it's gotten a second life, because the first edition of this book came out in 2020 and then it just got a reprinting in 2024. So I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know what's going on, but I want to know. And this is insanely popular right now. So I know that if I don't read it now, I'm not going to have a chance to renew it for my library because somebody else is on the wait list for it. Yeah, what's up? Dad? So yeah, there's, my light changed. So yeah, there's no dawdling on this. I gotta get reading it if I want to know what the heck is going on. How long is this sucker? Oh, it's 447 pages. Okay. And then the other pickles book that I have is, I very impulsively checked Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell out from the library. The only booktuber I've seen read this is Kayla at Books and Lala, but I grabbed it because I just today finished The Last White Man Standing, and I did not like it. I did not like the writing. I did not like the pacing. The audiobook wasn't a good experience. It was such a cool idea, and I was really curious in that thought experiment, and then the execution just totally failed the premise. But this has a similar, though not exactly the same premise, where all the white people one day walk into the ocean, and then I think it's examining how black people exist in a world where there's no white people. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting thought experiment. And so I'm hoping maybe this will be a better experience for me than Last White Man Standing was. However, this is also a new book at my library, which means I cannot renew it if I don't get to it in the next 3 weeks. So I'm going to try and at least start it. I don't really know if this is going to be for me because it's literary fiction, and literary fiction is not normally my jam. So I'm not committing to reading it, but I at least want to try it. I want to start it and see what I think. So that's the initial thing. That's the initial I guess TBR for this video. I did do a real life catch-up activity yesterday. I went and got my oil changed. I always feel like peak adulting when I get my oil changed, and yeah, I have some more stuff I need to get done. My oldest children turn 13 at the end of this week, so I have some birthday prep to do that you can come along with me for. But yeah, we're just gonna try and finish some ding dang books in this vlog. So welcome. I hope you have a good time, and let's start reading. Good morning. It's Sunday, and my husband just left for a work trip. He'll be back by the time you see this, because I will never, ever, ever tell the internet when my husband is gone in real time. But it's also a 4-day weekend for the kids, so we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. So they still have 3 days of their weekend, counting today. I realized that my TBR from yesterday was too simple, too easy, too straightforward, because I'd forgotten a book. I still have this sucker, which is from my TBR jar for January, and I tried to read it earlier in the month and read like 6 pages and understood nothing that I had read. So I'm going to download the audiobook, and I am going to attempt this with the audiobook and see if I'm able to understand what I'm reading better. I haven't read a ton of science fiction lately, so I'm wondering if my brain is just out of practice for science fiction world. But happily, I did finish A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik this morning. This, like I said, 3rd time I've read this. This is dark academia, but where the academia is actively trying to kill you. This takes place at a magical school, and Elle, our main character, is a junior, and there is some debate over whether this is an adult book or a YA book. I think it kind of depends on where you live. I've heard that this is shelved in YA in like the UK, but in the US, like the bookstore that I work for, all the bookstores I've been at, the library like considers this adult, but then it's also won like the Hugo, like the category for the Hugo Awards for YA novels. Like this whole series has won in that section, so it's kind of a controversial series. But regardless, I really like it. I really like the magic system Naomi Novik put into this world. I like how deadly the school is. I love Elle and how unapologetically rude she is, and just everything that happens in this book. I just think it's so fun. So that was definitely, had not planned on rereading it this month. It was it wasn't an impulsive decision, but joining the book club that was reading this was very impulsive, and then deciding to just go ahead and reread it was also pretty impulsive. So definitely wasn't on my 2025 bingo board, but I'm really happy I reread it. And I forget what I gave it initially, if it was a 4.5 or if it was a 5. I'm not going to change my rating because I think whatever past Emily gave it is good. Oh, I gave it only a 4.25? Interesting. I'm gonna bump it up to 4.5. Never mind. I'm gonna change my rating because I think it's just it's so fun. Also, the audiobook narrator, Anisha Dadia, is perfection. Like perfection. Does Elle's voice so well. Okay, so I'm letting my kids play video games for a little bit. I should probably get ready, get out my jammies. I don't have to be dressed nice, but look a little bit like I'm making effort. And the chaos machine is here, so this clip is gonna end. Bye. Good, good morning, friends. It's early, so you know. But I have a few updates. I am 52 pages into Infinity Gate, and I'm gonna DNF. I don't care. This is one of those sci-fi books where M.R. Carey has really thought through the science of multidimensional travel and multiverses, and he really wants to explain the science, and I don't get it, and I don't care, basically. So we start off following this scientist named Hedis, and she lives in Lagos, and the climate on Earth has progressed to the place where the air is really toxic, and the civilization, the structure of Lagos and other cities in the world is starting to fall apart. And she accidentally, with the help of this AI that a coworker had constructed, discovers a way to travel to other worlds in the solar system, to multiverses. And at 52 pages in, she's still figuring out the boundaries of the multiverses and where she can go and how livable these places are. And it's just boring. And I'm not gonna try to shove myself into reading a book that I'm bored by. So I'm gonna DNF it. I gave it I always try to give a book at least 50 pages unless it's like glaringly obvious that there's something about it that I don't like. But yeah, 52 pages, I'm just so bored and I don't care. The good news is, though, is that I started Sky Full of Elephants yesterday evening, and I'm 62 pages in, and I'm really liking this so far. So this is the one where one day all the white people on Earth just walk into the closest body of water and drown themselves. And there's no explanation or reason. It's just a random phenomena. And then we're following this black man named Charlie, and like how the world has started to restructure itself, or how the United States specifically has started to restructure itself now that there's no more white people. And so how much does the synopsis say? Okay, so this story takes place a year after that has happened, and Charlie gets a phone call from his estranged daughter because her white mom, stepdad, and twin brothers have all walked into water the year before, and then that starts them on this road trip. And yeah, I really like the writing. I really like the conversations Cecil Campbell is having in this book between the characters, and like the themes that are being explored. I think it's really, really interesting and well done so far. And like, this is what I was looking for from the last white man. So yeah, so that is going well, and that also like helps solidify my decision to DNF Infinity Gates, because I was trying to read that and I just wanted to be reading this. Pretty delighted with how this one's going so far. I'm not always a literary fiction person, so I wasn't sure if it was a literary fiction that I would like, or if it would be, I don't know, just not my style, not my jam. So pretty delighted to be having a good time with it so far. And I don't know how much reading I will get done today. It's Monday, which is typically like my really busy work day, plus the kids are home from school for 2 more days. It's fine. And yeah, I just don't know that I have a lot of reading in the cards for myself today, but I'm excited that when I do get to sit down to read, I'm going to be reading Sky Full of Elephants. That'll be a good time. promise I didn't forget about you, except maybe I kind of did. It's Wednesday. It's fine. I took B-roll 2 days ago. It's fine. Let's do a little bookish update, shall we? A little reading update. I have some book mail. My twin's birthday is tomorrow. I feel like my camera is crooked because of the tripod. You guys, how do you make things straight? How do like carpenters make things straight? I would be the worst carpenter in the world. Everything would be like, okay. I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. However, this is going into a different video project, I decided. So I'm not going to update you about it in this one, but I did start it. And it's going. It's a time. It's a time. Okay, I am understanding why it is so popular. More importantly, I'm almost done. Can you see this? I'm almost done with Sky Full of Elephants, and I'm really liking it. How much information did I give you? I think I gave you the basic setup. So we're following Charlie, who and his daughter Sydney, who are estranged for reasons. Do you get those reasons in the synopsis? No. So yeah, so this, like the first half of this, what has been like, maybe should I wait and just give you an update when I'm all the way done? Because I'm so close. Like, I could give you like a substantial, well wait, I'll give you a review for this in a minute. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I have a horrible headache. I'm waiting for the medicine to kick in. I just took ibuprofen. And I feel like I have 35 million things to do in 2 hours. Ah! And then I have made some more progress on Nona, but not a ton. Okay, look, the kids had a 4-day weekend and I'm solo parenting. There wasn't time to get a lot of stuff done. And I've been up since 4 because the cat, who's right there, is picking her sunspot to lay down and nap in, decided to throw up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was one of those moments where I had to decide if it was more painful to stay awake or to go back to sleep for an hour. And I decided that going back to sleep for an hour and then having to get up was going to be infinitely more horrible than staying awake. And I stand by that decision. I stand by it. But I'm really tired. And that's why I'm almost done with Sky Full of Elephants. So yeah, so I've made some more progress on Nona. I mean, I ideally would like to make it to the 50% mark in Nona before I end this vlog, but we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. This is continuing to go great. Something just happened that happened earlier that I thought it did. I thought we were further along in the book. It's interesting. So this is book 3 in a series. And in a really weird, fucking bonkers series. But for Nona, we are in a totally different place. We're on Earth. And it's a futuristic Earth, but we are on Earth. Theoretically, we're in New Zealand. And Nona and 2 other characters, who I'm not going to tell you who they are living in this apartment. And we don't know who Nona is. And we don't really know where we are or why we are. And Tamsin Muir is just setting stuff up for a 4th book that, let's be honest, may never come at this point. Because it's been 3 years? 4 years? When did Nona come out? This is going to hurt, isn't it? I'm going to be so mad. Nona came out in 2022. We may never get the 4th book at this point. I know, that hurts. It hurts me. But I think I have to start thinking that to set myself up to not be heartbroken. So yeah, so we're getting stuff revealed. Every once in a while, there's a reference to something that happened in Gideon or Harrow. But this is basically like a brand new world and a brand new book. And it's just kind of fun to like sift through the puzzle pieces and see what Muir has in store for us. So yeah, I'm really loving my reread. But yeah, it's going slow. This is probably going to be like a 4.5 when I finish with it. I don't think it's going to be quite a 5-star because the first half of this book was a road trip book. And then we got to the destination. And like the second half has been good. But I preferred the road trip. Like I preferred the big, like wide lens view we were getting of the world post what they refer to as the event of all the white people walking into bodies of water. And now that we're we're at the place and they're meeting all these people, it's still like a wide lens, but there's also more like narrow, and we're getting a lot more character development, which is good. And like I like the character development. I like how these relationships are being built. But I think the road trip, I really dug the road trip. I love a road trip. I know some people don't, but I really like a road trip. And then I have book mail. I ordered something from Pango because I had a lot of Pango bucks. I will link, if you're ever wondering, I sell books on my Pango, but then I'm also a rep for Pango, and I have a code down below and a link where if you've never used Pango before, you can get $5 off. It's a $20 purchase. But yeah, for first-time Pango users. So if you're ever interested, that's always linked down below. But I ordered my book club book for February, for the real life book club that I'm going to be in. Oh my gosh, the wrapping on this is so thorough. Oh my gosh. Wow. This person really wanted to make sure the book got here in one piece. Aw, that's cute. You can see, it's just a little thank you. A little thank you card. So I ordered James by Percival Everett because my in-person book club is reading this in February, and I'm so excited to finally be reading this. I've wanted to read it ever since it was published last year, and I just needed, I don't know why I needed a specific reason to pick it up, but I needed a reason. What's the plan for today? Y'all, I gotta wrap my twins' birthday presents. I haven't wrapped a ding ding thing, and the birthday is tomorrow. So I should probably do that first. I also do need to work out. And though I'm not going to ballet tonight, so like I for real have to work out. It's not like if I skip my workout, my gym workout, I'm going to work out at home. But like, yeah, if I skip my workout, like it's fine because I have ballet tonight. Sometimes I double up depending on my energy level. I know. But look, I am who I am, okay? The workout plan says I have to work out today, even though I also have ballet on Wednesdays, and it's really hard for me to skip the workout plan, even though I'm the one who set the workout plan. And yes, I know, but it's just, I am who I am, okay? But I think I might skip ballet tonight because, well, I'm still solo parenting. And I'm like, yeah, I could leave the kids alone for like an hour, but also like it's the twins' last night of being 12, and yes, I am a sentimental bitch, and I want to hang out with my 12-year-olds before they're 13. That's just how I am. So yeah, I think I'm gonna not read. This has not been my best reading week ever. Just saying. I don't know why it was so hard to read this weekend with the kids home for 4 days, because like during the summer, when they're home all the time, I have to balance reading and YouTubing and parenting and working and all the things. And I do it during the summer. I don't know why it's so hard. Well, I can't send them outside because it's too freaking cold. Anyways, now I'm just rambling and you don't care. So, yeah, I'm going to go wrap presents. And then I'm going to work out. And it's 12:25. And then I'm going to eat. And then if there's time after that, I will read. I will finish Sky Full of Elephants before I have to go pick up my youngest from school. And I'll give you a review. Okay. Good talk. Oh, is this going to be annoying? Oh! It's if it falls. Okay, y'all. I told myself I wasn't going to have any more energy drinks this week. Here I am. But, yeah. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Not drink caffeine? That won't work out well for anybody. I finished Sky Full of Elephants. And, yeah, I'm going to stick with my 4.5. I really loved the thought experiment idea that we're exploring in this one. I really liked the themes of how white supremacy just ruins everything, and just the possibilities of what life could be like without white supremacy, but then also how insidious it is. And like, even if you are not a person who is going to benefit from white supremacy, like that toxic idea of the closer to white you are, the better off you are, like how insidious that is, and how hard it is to get rid of that mindset once it's entrenched in your brain pattern, and once you've internalized it, and the long-term effects of trauma and generational trauma, and just what it's like for a people who like their whole history of being in this country has been subjected to so much violence and cruelty and pain and heartbreak. And yeah, I loved all those elements. I really liked the thought process. I liked what Sibo Campbell was exploring, like the characters. And like I said, I did prefer the road trip section first half better. But I liked the discussions, and I liked the revelations that the characters were having in the second half. But the second half did get a little woo-woo for me. But that might be more of, this is just like a thought and a mindset that I don't understand, versus, or that I'm not familiar with, versus like it actually being woo-woo, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really liked it. Highly recommend. I'm so glad I read it and made the space for it in my TBR, because it was definitely like made up for the last white man being such a disappointment and so badly written. Like, this is so well written, just in general, but then also compared to the last white man, this is so well written. So now, like I said, I'm not going to finish Nona in this video, but I feel like this is so dark, but my eyes suck. No, why can't I be better at this part of YouTube? Okay, I feel like that's better. But I want to finish one more video. So if you watched my video where I read the shortest videos on my TBR, I DNF'd a book. So I DNF'd Murder by Memory in that video. Soft DNF'd it, because this is like science fiction, murder mystery, but it's a type of science fiction that I don't typically enjoy, which is science fiction that is futuristic, and we're on a space station or a spaceship, and it's very much set in the future, but the conventions and the fashion and the manners and all the things are very much based on 1920s or 1950s type things. And I don't like that. But Tor sent me the audiobook for it, and it's like 2 hours. So I'm going to give it a second try, because I do want to like Olivia Waite. I just don't have a great track record with her books, but I've only tried to read one. But I DNF'd that one too. So I'm going to give it a second shot with the audio. We'll see how that goes. And I'll report back probably tomorrow, if we're being honest.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.
Okay, well, I ran out of tape, so we won't be finishing my reading journal in this vlog, but that's okay. I was just gonna tape down all the little photo thumbnails, but I want to show you what I've done so far. I'll show you January's. Come here. Disclaimer that I am not an artist. I don't know what I'm doing. This is just for funsies. So there are people who are better at this than I am, but this is what January has looked like. I gotta fill out my pie charts, and then my favorites are gonna go here, my rereads are here, and then I'm gonna fill in when I was reading what book, and then all the other covers are gonna go on this page, and then let's continue. So that is the plan. I really like journaling. It makes me really happy, even though I don't know what I'm doing. I think that's why it makes me happy. But yeah, I'll have to go get more of this. That's a bummer. But anyways, where's my book? I don't know. I don't know where it is. I could go find it. I'm just gonna pop up a graphic here. I finished Murder by Memory, and I would say audiobook is definitely the way to go. I thought the audiobook made it a lot more fun and a lot easier to listen to than just reading it with my eyeballs. I definitely would not have been able to push through reading it with my eyes. I'm giving it a 3. I just think a novella is too short to do a murder mystery well. And I don't know if that's a hot take, but that is my take. You can chime in on whether you agree with me or not. But yeah, I just think it's hard to do a mystery. I did like what Olivia Waite was doing with lives and consciousness in this book. You know, she was setting up that humans have figured out a way to put themselves into other bodies when their current body is starting to run down and they're starting to die. So as long as they update like what is called their book beforehand, which is basically like updating their memories, then and then that can be put into a new body once the current body has run down. So people are living for like 300, 400 years because once they get worn down, they can go into a new body. And you could also take a break from being in a body and then just be like shelved in the library in your book for whatever time you say before. So at the beginning of this, we're with, is her name Dorothy? Did I already forget? Jesus Christ on a cracker. I'm gonna go get the book. Just a minute. Okay, so we open the book with Dorothy opening her eyes, and she's in a body that's not hers. And as far as she's concerned, her self is still supposed to be on a book in the library because that's where she decided to go about 2 years ago because she just wanted a break from existence. And it's not unusual to wake up in a new body, but the body you would wake up in would be a blank body, and the body she's in is very much one that belongs to somebody else, and she's not supposed to be in there. And so that's kind of what gets the ball rolling. And there's like this electricity storm going out on in space, and human civilization is living on the ship, and it's taking the journey from our Earth to what will be a new Earth. And so everybody's been in there for a long time. Society's pretty, like, they got a pretty sweet setup. Everybody has a universal income, but then, like, if you want to work, you can, and then you get extra money on top of that. The highest paying jobs are, like, custodians and teachers and nurses. Very interesting world. The saving your memories before you die so that you can go into a new body reminded me a lot of, it's a sci-fi horror, 6 Wakes. Yeah, it reminded me of 6 Wakes because that's got a similar kind of setup. And there's another book with that convention as well that I'm totally blanking what the name is, but I've read it in a couple of other sci-fi. So it's not a new idea, but I think it's a cool idea and I always like it. But yeah, I just think this is too short to do a believable murder mystery. And it's gay, because Dorothy is gay. And yeah, it was fine. I definitely recommend it on audio. I liked the narrator a lot. I thought she did a good job, and she made it fun to listen to. And I liked all of her acting and her voice choices and all that. So yeah. And this is going to be my last read of January, I decided, because it is technically the 30th, but today is my twin's birthday, so I don't anticipate doing a lot more reading this afternoon once everybody is home from school. We're going to do presents, we're going to do takeout from their favorite restaurant, and they requested donuts instead of a birthday cake, which makes my life so much easier. So I already picked up the donuts. And then tomorrow, I am just going to chill. I'm just gonna chill, and the only books that I'm now currently reading are chunkers, and I'm not gonna blaze through them in a day because I'm not doing that to myself this year for content. I will do it if I'm super motivated and I really want to read the book and I have to know what's happening next, but not doing it just for vlogging purposes. And yeah, like I said, I'm reading Nona really slow. I've made some good progress. I did not get halfway like I'd hoped to, but that's okay. I'm not upset about it. And I am still reading Dungeon Crawler Carl for that other vlog that hopefully will be out towards the end of the month. We'll see what reading looks like in February. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching and spending your precious time with me. I would love to hear if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are, what you've read this month, how your reading month went, how January went for you reading wise. Mine was funky, which I guess we'll talk about my January wrap up a little bit, but yeah, it was kind of a funky reading month. So I don't know if anybody else was in the same boat, but if you want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, I guess let's leave a book emoji for Memory by Murder. No, Murder by Memory. And I am so close to 500 subscribers, which is so little. But if you watch my videos on a semi-regular basis and you like my content, I would love if you could subscribe and help me bump up my numbers a little bit. That would be super awesome. That would be super swell. And yeah, otherwise I will talk to y'all in the next one. Bye!